At RPM this week, the Irish Tarmac Series takes the fast track to Scotland, with the three Irish winners to date, Derek McGarity, Eugene Donnelly and Andrew Nesbitt, meet the best of the British and the finest from Finland on the Jim Clark Memorial Rally. The ferries have been fully loaded with the Irish Raiders for round 4 of the Toshiba Irish Tarmac Rally Championship. Uniquely on the UK mainland, the Berwick and District Motor Club have permission to close public roads, and Duns, whose former world champion, gives his name to the event and is also the home of a ladies' world rally champion, will be the centre of action over the next 3 days. But the ceremonies start 60 miles to the north.
To be in Edinburgh for the 4th round of the Irish Tarmac Rally Championship could be described as being typically Irish, but make no mistake about it, the Irish are here in force to take on their British counterparts amongst the World Rally Cars, the Group N and the Super 1600 Series entrants. Last year Andrew Nesbitt won it in a Subaru. He's back in his Donegal winning Subaru to take them on again. Can he do it? Only time will tell.
Ocean Terminal in Edinburgh is again the headquarters for the 3-day event, but this is just the showpiece with 2 dockside stages on the first night to keep the townies entertained. The real action will be on the borders.
Derek, last year you set blistering times here in Scotland. Planning to set out and do the same again?
The only way.
There's some tremendous competition out there.
Yeah, well, it's the same competition was here last year and we were in front of them last year.
Eugene Donnelly, the winner of the Killarney Rally of the Lakes.
It's the 98 car we're in this weekend, and it's been a very lucky car for me all year. I won Killarney in it, so hopefully it'll do well for me this weekend. The stages are very fast and very smooth, so I'll be at a bit of a power disadvantage, but I'm looking forward to the rally. First time here, so should be good.
Then it's Andrew Nesbitt, straight from his Donegal win.
So the British guys come over the odd time to Ireland. We like to come back and thank them for doing that, and we'll have a good race with them hopefully this weekend. I love the fast tarmac, yeah, and if it stays dry it'll be a very quick rally, believe you me.
Andrew's big rival last year was Jonny Milner, who went on to become British rally champion.
It's great to see the Irish Championship boys here as well, and we had a really good fight last year, and of course there's more competition, I feel, strong competition in the British Championship as well, so it's going to be a really good fight all the way through the rally. Of course with Vala and Tapio there, they're cool cookies. They're going to push right from the word go. I mean, Tapio's won this event before, so we're really going to have a strong fight.
Louise, the little town of Duns, an amazing competition history.
2,500 people population it has. It's got Jim Clark, a world champion. I became a world champion in 1990. Numerous British and racing champions. It's a fantastic little town for motorsport.
Is it something in the water?
It must be roads or whatever they are. We've been asked this question numerous times, but we just don't know. Probably we're allowed to learn to drive a lot earlier, having farms and you know, everybody encourages everybody else.
Day 2 in Duns and we're ready for the reel-off. Louise will lead an ambitious entry of 353 crews into the 25-stage event. Irish representation in the Super 1600s is strong, with Gary Jennings in the Peugeot and Chris Meek in the Opel. But it's the World Rally cars that build a big buzz, and there are 13 of them on the Jim Clark entry, and 8 have come from Ireland, including our top seed Andrew Nesbitt and James O'Brien in the Cuisine de France S8 Impreza. The bad buzz, however, for everybody is the weather. Shiny tarmac surface with a fine film of rain produces a lethal combination.
Mind your brakes, mind your brakes. Right side, complete stop.
Andrew finds out just how treacherous that combination is on the first junction. It's a very costly error, and the corner is going to play a major part in the weekend's drama. This is the snag with those sequential gearboxes. It's hard to find out what gear you're in before it all went wrong.
Complete stop. Pete, complete stop, Andrew. Hairpin left 26, right 26 on crest, way before the house.
This is just not Andrew's morning. On stage 5 Churnside, the Cuisine de France car gets away from him again.
Junction, rubber shot.
But on the second run past Weatherburn Castle,
Rest 10.
it could have been a lot worse, as we will find out.
Rest 20.
After 8 stages, they will claw their way back to 3rd. Austin McHale is contesting both the British and Irish Series this year, and he is wisely cautious over the opening stages. The Dubliner is 6th.
Big crest jump.
Paul
Okay,
Kiley
very
in Eugene
slippery.
Donnelly's
2
car
left,
is about to come across something that is not marked down in the notes.
3 right cuts. Here 80.
That's Simon Hughes' Super
Right, close
1600
40,
Renault
turn
on its
square
side on
right.
stage 3. The car had landed badly and rolled. Fortunately, neither Simon or Calvin Coolidge were injured, but the damage is sufficient to cause the Renault's withdrawal from the already thin British series. Eugene is revelling in these conditions, and after 5 stages the Mahara driver leads the event. But with 3 stages between each service
Slipping.
halt, tyre choice is a complete gamble.
5 right cut. Oh, she's away. All right, 5 right turn, acute left.
Not quite away this time, Eugene, but it's close one for the rally leader. Jonny Milner's earlier lead blows away on stage 3. The front left is punctured, and McGarrity catches.
The main thing was to come out and not have any damage, so I probably drove a little bit steady in places, but actually drove on the grass for a lot of the straights with it, because the rim was down just to bare aluminium, so it was just really a case of damage limitation. So we did the right thing. There's no reason to stop at all. We drove 5 miles. It was, you wouldn't have wanted probably 10 miles on it, but 5 miles was acceptable, so we've done the right thing.
Motorsport, we love it. I wonder, do Johnny and Nicky Beach love it just so much after that stage 3 puncture? There's a mountain of time to make up now, and the odd little shortcut helps along the way. So after 3 stages, the British World Rally Car threat may not have gone, but it's certainly abated. Toshiba Tarmac Championship leader Derek McGarrity has been held up by the Toyota. He may have plenty of Pirellis to choose from, but the question is which one to choose. He's in 4th place after 8 stages. Tapio Loikkanen, the winner of this event in 1999, should be good in these conditions. The Finns usually revel in the slippery stuff. 30 miles an hour? Tell that to the Polis. But Tapio becomes the first major victim at Weatherburn portals. It doesn't look too bad, but when the WRCSale.com Impreza extricates itself, you can see that there will not be a big queue to buy this particular model in this condition. As one fin falls, another flies. This young man could be the next Vatman. He's setting top 2 times. And like many of his fellow countrymen, he has no inhibition about being airborne. But Jari Latvala gets it horribly wrong at Weatherburn. This was a very high-speed impact, and the marshals are naturally concerned.
Did he move? Turn the electric off. Ambulance.
Eventually, a very pale Jari emerges. However, Carl Williamson is not so fortunate, and he will be detained in hospital with a broken pelvis. Scottish Rally champion Barry Johnson was really enjoying himself on tarmac until 2 off-road excursions during the morning. But it will be a gearbox foam that will drop the enthusiastic driver out of contention. Eamon Boland, whose S8 is run locally by the Don Buckley organisation, was 6th, but drops to 8th after the first 8 tests. Tim McNulty, 5th here last year, seems also to be drama-free. But it's not turning out to be a good weekend for Morris Gas. Gordon Dunn's pictures show us how close he came to those gates on the first pass. Then he almost bails out at Churnside. He will eventually retire on stage 8. Peter Herson and Ian Porter won this rally 2 years ago, and the Hills Impreza is starring again this weekend. After the first test of the morning, they are in the lead, but they drop back during the morning to 5th behind Donnelly, Thompson and McGarity after the first 2 loops. And here's the sensation. James Thompson may be the British racing car champion, but his experience in rallying stages is very limited. After 6 tests, he has the ex-Mackinnon Group A Lancer in 2nd. Back in the Super 1600s, they're dropping out like flies. Unfortunately, following Simon Hughes' demise, the next casualty is our own Gary Jennings.
We just slid wide on a 4 right, and there was a telegraph pole there. We just clipped it. No major damage. We got it fixed in service and went to start the car. No go. She must have cooked the engine on the way in, so out, unfortunately.
On Churnside stage, just yards before this shot was taken, Gwyndaf Evans, the early leader, has been off the road for a few seconds, but stage 6 would prove to be terminal.
I hadn't anticipated that it had damped so much, and we went back out on slicks, which was, on hindsight, which is a wonderful thing, on the wrong thing. And the first real bad corner we came to, bad junction, I'd braked well early, but it was like on the skating ring.
Leon Pasticcio in the Fiat Punto knows all about skating rings. Chris Meek and Chris Patterson now have their first Super 1600 win in sight, even at this early stage. If they can just avoid the many pitfalls over the next day of the rally, there's a major one over. The Leonard White battle for Group N that was such a close contest in the Donegal Hills is simply transferred to the border country. After 12 stages, the Toshiba Championship leader Roy White has a 4-second advantage over his arch rival, but it could have been double that if it hadn't been for this little overshoot. Dickie Curran is a further 4 seconds back in his understeering Mitsubishi Evo 7, and his son Michael trails him by 25 seconds, probably caused by this incident in stage 3, caught by Gordon Dunn's camera again. Indeed, Gordon has been busy as the other Group N hot shoe Andrew Stewart really makes a mess of it on the approach to what is becoming the most notorious corner in the rally. Andrew recovered somewhat battle-scarred from that one, and as always, Fabian McShane has a full-time job keeping his Letterkenny driver on the not-so-straight and very narrow.
And square right early entry. 60, stay right, 4 fast square left, and past square left here, past the post. And
Scottish driver Dougie Hall is not so fortunate. There is wreckage everywhere, as Dermot Hannafin discovers. The MVT Subaru is, however, managing to keep out of the scenery this weekend. We're back on the tracks of the big boys, and the rally leaders, Eugene Donnelly and Paul Carley, are only too aware that on the drying roads, the 1999 Impreza will have to give away time to the more recent machinery. It doesn't help at over 120 miles an hour if you're having difficulty seeing.
Oh, the wiper's stuck, Paul.
While trying to fix those wipers, the Subaru clips a rock and drops to 4th. Churnside, Jim Clark's home village, is host to another celebrity racing driver today, but James Thompson's great run receives a severe setback in Eccles stage when the Mitsubishi leaves the road, dropping the racing champion to 18th place. Still, local resident Andrew Kahn, Mitsubishi's World Rally team manager, has plenty to smile about. But again, Andrew Nesbitt and James O'Brien are proving to be the class of the field. By stage 10, they're in the lead, and after 12 tests, they're 25 seconds in front. Is it any wonder? Watch this for commitment on the main road between Ayrton and Churnside. Not even the suggestion of a lift at 130 miles an hour.
Square left 20, mind your braking, mind your braking. Narrow square, right 24, 10, very badly uphill.
As always, the popular Langton stage with its water splash is in multiple use.
Right 26, mind it, very slippy. 26. Hairpin jumps in left 24. Regularly for the chicane and mind your brakes. Check your brakes. Right 26, left 26.
Derek McGarty is moving up, and by stage 12 he and Dermot O'Gorman will be third. Remember, the Belfast driver led this rally for a time last year. How's this for a high-speed car wash? Patter Harrison and Ian Porter start the loop in the lead, but by the end of these 4 stages, they will be demoted to second. It's still a highly impressive show, but this little stall is not helping their quest to stay ahead of the chasing pack. Austin McHale demonstrates the art of the handbrake turn in his Sanyo Subaru. He's up to 6th. Milner mauls the bale, and he's recovered to 5th. What a recovery. Eamon Boland is 7th, and there are 9 Irish drivers in the top 10.
Some of the English guys are going very quick. Johnny's going quick, so he's not to be underestimated. A long way to the finish ramp yet, and who knows what will happen.
The Englishman who has been really outstanding is James Thompson.
We slipped into a ditch and lost 4.5 minutes, so disappointing. It was having a nice fight up there with the Irish lads, and yeah, it was going well, but disappointed to have slipped back now.
The Nesbitt family are out in force to witness Andrew's aerobatics on the Eccles stage. How high was that? Believe it or not, it is not the highest flight on stage 15. But by the end of the day, the Cuisine de France team have washed away the opposition, and they are almost a minute ahead. Derek McGarty in the Pirelli back car is preserving his championship lead and making it an Irish 1-2 overnight and a Subaru S8 parade back to Edinburgh. Eugene Donnelly will slip to 5th before nightfall, but to be frank, he's lucky to be there at all after this moment.
Left to the house here, to Kerr, flat 2 right, 150. Oh, you bastard. All right, get her going.
Milner is now the man really on the move. He has a comfortable lead over his British rivals, but honour is at stake, and the never-say-die Yorkshireman is pushing aside many of his Irish opponents in his rather elderly Toyota. He's 3rd overnight. Herson's slide from 1st to 4th is not for any particular reason other than the superiority of the more recent World Rally cars. And the showroom men have also been keeping the crowds entertained in an epic contest between the Group N Mitsubishi and Subarus. Roy White held the lead right at the end of the second day, and this battle is going to the bitter end. Now Seamus Leonard only has a 4-second lead with the Sunday run still to go, and boy is he trying. But in many ways the real hero is Andrew Stewart, who continues to have every conceivable adventure in the book, and some would say that the bravest man of the car is Fabian McShane.
200.
There's no rear wing on that car to hold it down. After their umpteenth incident, there is still one more miraculous escape to come from the Shell's Fuels car. Incredibly, they are still in 3rd place in Group N. Dickie Curran has been in the bull wire, which puts him out of contention. But son Michael is flying, and he will finish 4th on the road in the category, only to be excluded by a minor technical infringement.
Here's the World PlayStation Champion.
So who takes home the trophy? Going into the last stage, Seamus is still less than 4 seconds in front.
Well, Seamus, you're shaking your head.
I know. We'll wait till he comes.
You don't know yet?
We're 2.8 ahead, so we'll just wait till he comes, Pam.
You're not going to move off till you see that wee red car come round the corner.
Yeah, see who's the winner.
Roy White has driven his heart out in the FESP Evo 7 and has always looked the more spectacular of the two.
Well, have you got it?
No, Seamus has it.
Seamus has it?
Aye, he does, yeah.
Behind it.
Well, on, Seamus.
Come on, Roy.
Aye, great race, great race.
It's a brilliant weekend for Chris Meek and Opel, who win their first major Super 1600 trophy, with Pistachios second amongst the four-wheel drive screamers. This is Irish domination like never before. As we go into the final day, we have 8 cars in the top 10, and Tim McNulty and Anthony Nesbitt are heading for 7th place in their Pierce Construction Subaru S7. 35 seconds ahead of them will be Austin McHale and Brian Murphy in the ProDrive Sanyo car, but they have to take a little avoiding action on the very last stage to claim their 6th place.
Okay, keep riding, keep riding. All right, easy right through the grid, 100, absolute right, 70.
Eugene Donnelly and Paul Kiley will finish 5th, a further 6 seconds up the road in their Stan Harper prepared car.
2, 380 here, tight long, 3 right, 40, long flat, 1 left over crest, 150.
Potter Harrison and Jim Porter have had a heavy landing, but they will be delighted with 4th in the hills in Breza. Derek McGarty and Dermot O'Gorman slipped to 3rd in the final day, but it's good enough to retain their Toshiba Championship lead. Jonny Milner and Nicky Beach have had a star drive back to 2nd in the Toyota that gives them maximum British Championship points. And here's the man that just seems to be invincible on tarmac on these islands. Andrew Nesbitt and James O'Brien are heading for their 2nd Jim Clark win. And if you ever wondered how they do it, step inside.
Left 3 through the dip. Left 3 through the dip. Into break, very on his square right, 24 times, very badly before, most over crest, 24. 4 times very badly.
The final few yards, Andrew and James are becoming accustomed to dealing with their Irish rivals, but when you add in the British and Finnish to the list, it must add to their satisfaction.
Well, we're at the end of the final stage, and we just have to see, did Andrew Nesbitt make it cleanly through this final stage to take the Jim Clark Memorial Rally? Well done! Brilliant!
Oh, absolutely brilliant.
How does it feel?
Absolutely wonderful. We sort of tried to keep our pace steady today, a nice, quick, steady pace, and it worked out for us.
Back at the Ocean Terminal, the Irish party begins as Chris Meek and Chris Patterson take their place on the winner's ramp. They're just too fast and too furious for the Super 1600 opposition. In addition to 8 out of the top 10 overall, the first 3 in Group N and the winners of Super 1600, Ireland also takes home the Peugeot 206, Ford car and many of the class prizes.